So is there a letter you need to write to someone? Well, in his new book, The Wednesday Letters, author Jason Wright explores the power of paper and pen to tell the people in your life just how much you care about them. We're pleased to have Jason with us in studio today. Welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. In this new book, just as great as the last one, better, I'd say, a real tearjerker. For those who haven't read it, give us a synopsis of The Wednesday Letters.
The book is about an older couple. They're sort of semi-retired, and they own a bed and breakfast in the gorgeous Shenandoah Valley of Virginia, where I now live. And they pass away at the very beginning of the book of different causes, coincidentally. And when their three children come together to deal with the funeral arrangements and whatnot, they discover boxes and boxes of letters. It turns out that Dad wrote Mom on every Wednesday of their entire marriage. And those letters reveal some interesting secrets about their past.
And they're really heartwarming letters. They really are. Your books seem to inspire people to move toward action. The Christmas jars, of course, had us all dropping our spare change in jars. This book, I feel no doubt, will have people writing love letters to those they know and revisiting that past trend.
Yeah, the book's been out a month, and already I'm getting emails and phone calls from people all over the country that are saying, wow, I had no idea the power of those letters sitting in the closet that my mom wrote to my dad, or folks writing letters for the first time to their spouse. It's pretty neat.
It is a neat thing, and obviously I know you put a lot of thought into the concept of love letters and letters of affection as you're writing the book. What would be your suggestions for people who to maybe start writing a love letter? If they haven't done it in a while, the first tip you say is to ditch the computer, right?
Ditch the computer, that's right. I love technology. I'm as addicted to email and my cell phone as anyone, but ditch the computer and get out an old-fashioned piece of stationery and a pen and write a heartfelt letter on a real piece of paper and drop it in the mailbox to your loved one.
No clicking send.
That's right.
Doesn't quite count. Your next tip, which I think is kind of a tough one, bear it all. People sometimes have a hard time putting it on paper. Yeah. You do it well.
Well, it's important, I think, and sometimes it is easier to say things on paper. Even couples that have been married for 30, 40, 50 years, sometimes when you write something down, your heart just opens up and your soul can communicate with their soul in a way I don't know that you can always do face-to-face. So I say be as honest as you can possibly be.
And you say to try it again, too. Not just one, but try it again.
And this is for the man, particularly. You don't get off the hook by writing your wife that one single letter. She is going to react so positively. She's going to love it. It's going to fill her heart. Do it again. Do it again the next week and do it every week thereafter. You'd be surprised at what it can do for your relationship. And
probably the hardest part, I think, maybe in writing a letter and writing a book, I don't know, is getting started. Where do you begin? Do you have some suggestions for people if they want to begin writing a letter?
I do. In the book, Jack writes his wife a letter I refer to as the list. It's 25 things he loves about his wife. I would suggest that's a really good way for someone watching this program right now to start. Sit down at your kitchen table and make a list, maybe from 1 to 10 of the things you love most about your spouse.
So here we're seeing your hair, your laugh, your sense of fairness, your patience, a list of really what you like about that significant person.
Yeah, absolutely. We're so used to pointing out, we can be critical of one another sometimes, even in the most loving of marriages. This is your chance to do nothing but look at just what you love, love, love about them inside and out.
Okay, the list letter, a good way to get started. You also suggest the recap letter. What's that?
That's right. In the book, one of my favorite passages in the book is a letter that Jack writes to his wife after a fun little day trip they take to Natural Bridge. All it is a letter describing what they'd done that day and why it meant so much to him.
A good memory to put onto paper and then to save. And the neat thing I think about this is the couple saved the letters. They saved them for their kids to read, for their posterity to read, and it really gives you a good sense of who those people were that you love so much.
The kids didn't even know the letters existed until they discovered them in the basement just before the funeral. So kind of a neat way to get to know your folks.
It is a neat way, and it's a neat book. Thanks so much for being here. The Wednesday Letter is available in stores now. Came out about a month ago, and you will be signing books tonight, right?
That's right, at the Barnes & Noble, Jordan Landing, 6:30. Come on out and meet me, and more importantly, come and tell me your story with letter writing. I'd love to know how a letter has affected your life.
It's neat, the stories I'm sure you hear.
Absolutely.
Jason, thank you.
Thanks for having me.